Diablo Immortal in 2023. Where do I see the game going? What do I actually believe is realistic for Diablo Immortal? And what will Blizzard do to continue to improve this game? And yes, I did say continue because 10 or so months after the game is released, it's in a better place than it was when it launched. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and I'm going to break down Diablo Immortal today and kind of tell you where I believe realistically and where I hope the game is going to head to within the next year. Now, the game released in June of 2022. We've had it for just under 10 months, and I have to say, update after update, the game has improved. It's gotten better. Is it a perfect game? No, it's not a perfect game by far, but it has gotten better, and every single update has been a step in the right direction, in my opinion, from Blizzard. There's a lot of space to go, but also there's a lot of room to grow. Diablo Immortal has a framework that can implement many different types of elements that we want to see inside of the game. We could have more PvP, we could have more PvE, we can now have more casual events added to the game. So many things that we can do, or that Blizzard can do, that we, the community, want to see, and I'm excited to see where that goes. So first of all, let's just start out by saying, what do we want to see? What do players, myself specifically, want to see as we roll into 2023? Now, we know Diablo 4 is going to be releasing, so there's going to be a lot of focus from Blizzard on Diablo 4 promotion and all of that. But with that said, Diablo Immortal does have its own small development team that is consistently working on Diablo Immortal. Now, I anticipate seeing some type of a crossover. Gameplay elements that are in Diablo Immortal we'll see in Diablo 4, and things that work well in Diablo 4 we may find themselves trickling over to Diablo Immortal as well, which is really cool. They can kind of play off of one another. This is the first time ever that there have been two new Diablo games available at the same time, if you consider Diablo Immortal new, a year older than Diablo 4, which I do, since Diablo 3 has been out for like 10 plus years. So this is an exciting time. Now, what do I want to see? You already know there's two things that I want to see. If you watch my channel, let me know in the comment section below what I'm about to say, because I've said it before. I want to see, number one, the most important, new PvP modes and an entire new reworked PvP system brought into the game. I want to see a HUD. I want to see an easy to log in and dive right into PvP elements of the game. I want to see it in the drop down menu. I don't even want to have to go to someone in town to get there. I want it to be an available option to dive into PvP that could be gearless, where you gear yourself up, and that is a balanced matchmaking system. Now, there are many ways that Blizzard could do this. They could do this by matchmaking you with people of like power. They could do this by battle royale style or team deathmatch style modes, where you go in and you equip your character however you want, and your power that you grind in the game isn't actually the power that you're playing that with. Lots of options. We don't need to go into all of them, but PvP is underloved inside of Diablo Immortal, and it needs a big hug, because that is what's going to make this game survive for years to come. Now, the second thing that I want to see, and I think we really need to see, are cross-class cosmetics. So currently, as it sits, if you buy a cosmetic inside of Diablo Immortal, this costs you about 1,000 orbs, which is approximately $15 to $20, depending on how you attain the orbs, if it's from packs or it's just straight up buying them. But the problem is that these cosmetics are not cross-class. And what does that mean? What does not cross-class mean? It means that you could buy it on your Demon Hunter, but when you switch to a Necromancer, that skin, that cosmetic is not available on the Necromancer. If you then buy something or attain it from a battle pass on the Necromancer and you switch to a Barbarian, well then that cosmetic is not available on the Barbarian. The bigger problem here is that battle pass cosmetics that are only available from the battle pass, you can't buy them afterward, they're only available on the class that you attain it on. So if I finish with the Necromancer, I get the cosmetic for the battle pass, I then can't get that cosmetic unless if I buy the battle pass again on another class, on another account. I can't change my class and then have the cosmetic there. This is a massive problem, specifically because there are cosmetics inside of the game that are cross-class. Do you remember the Heraldric Legacy armor? This is when the game was launched. If you were part of the sign up early beta, or if you just signed in and pre-registered for Diablo Immortal, you got this skin for free. Funny thing is, if you look right here, it says purchased on class Wizard, Monk, Demon Hunter, Crusader, Necromancer, and Barbarian. It's available on all of the classes. This is a cross-class cosmetic. There's more. Do you guys recall the cosmetic that was available during Christmas time? I actually don't remember the name of that one, but it was done through a lottery system, which would cost most people approximately $110 to attain. That armor as well, or that cosmetic, was also cross-class. So we know that the system is in place. And here's a great example for you. I purchased the Crystalline Echoes armor on my Barbarian class. I'm now playing Necromancer, and on Barbarian, it's currently available because I'm not a Barbarian. And if I want it again for the Necro, I have to purchase it again. I don't like this system. I think it needs work. And I think many players, like myself, would buy more cosmetics if they were available across different classes. Now, I understand why they may not be doing it, but I don't think it's right. I think that we should have cross-class cosmetics, and I, for one, will be definitely buying more. So now let's talk about some of the positive changes that we've seen so far since Diablo is launched, starting with the class change mechanic. We were just talking about it, how skins weren't available, but being able to class change inside of the game is a massive deal, and it's a really positive thing, because who wants to, or who has the time to create a new character every time you want to try a different class? I started as the Barbarian inside of Diablo Immortal, went to the Wizard, to the Demon Hunter, now I'm on the Necromancer, and looking forward to what's next. So it's nice that the option is there to switch without losing too much of your grind. It essentially enables you to be able to get to a new class without losing too much, something that you can't catch up on within a day or two. I love the mechanic, and I'm happy that it's here. New Paragon Trees have been added to the game as well since launch, which is going to continuously happen as we get new hell levels inside of the game, which is going to enable you to further your progression, which is another positive. When the game launched, legendary crests were hard to come by, and you'd really only get them if you would buy them, but now there are mechanics inside of the game for free-to-play players to be able to get these legendary crests, both eternal legendary crests, which you can sell on the market, and regular legendary crests, which you cannot sell on the market. But having these systems in place enable the free-to-play player maybe not to compete with the whales, but allows them to be able to experience what it's like to utilize legendary crests and to get those juicy 5-star gems. Reliquary has changed since day one, where it used to be you had to go in with a party of 8. It was very clunky and many people couldn't participate in this. Now the requirements have come down substantially, and essentially everyone can participate in Reliquary battles to be able to upgrade their Reliquary and just enjoy the gameplay mode, which is one of the better PvP modes inside of the game. I think they did a nice job with the Reliquary. I think there's probably more work to come, and definitely more Reliquary bosses, and they've definitely been bringing new Reliquary bosses to the stage. Every few updates we're seeing something new, more difficult enemies to battle. Reliquary's been pretty positive. In addition to that, the rewards you get for Reliquary are probably like 10 times better than they were when we launched in the game. Dungeons have improved as well inside of Diablo Immortal, because if you remember on day one, once you jumped up in hell level, you needed to go in with a party of 2 or even 4 players, and you couldn't do dungeons without 4 players. Since then, they've made it available for you to play through dungeons solo. Only you if you want to, although the difficulty very high. But not only that, if you go with a party of 4, there's more gem drops, so you have the ability to pick up more gems, which is amazing, and it's now cross-server, so you can not only recruit from your server, but from all other servers as well if you can't find a party. And since these mechanics have been put in place, I haven't had any issues getting into dungeons. It's actually been a nice experience, and a lot of gems. I believe we can get up to 30 gems per day, which many of are sellable on the market for platinum, which you could use to buy legendary gems. So things are moving in the right direction. And now you just heard me mention servers. We've had multiple server merges over time, and it's not because the game is a dead game, because it's very much not, but it's because when you have players join a game and play, decide they don't want to play anymore, servers get light. So it's only natural to be able to take servers, put them together to have a thriving environment for gamers to play in, and we can always open up or reopen old servers for new players once it's time. It's just a nice way to be able to bring everyone together so that you don't have a stale community, and so your servers aren't just too quiet. With that being said, it would be amazing if Diablo Immortal were all on one server. I'm talking about one world for the entire world, but it doesn't seem that that mechanic will probably ever come to the game, but what will? At this point, we just patted Diablo Immortal and Blizzard on the back for some of the great changes that they made. What will we begin to see? Now, I've mentioned that I want to see the cosmetics being cross-class and PvP. Those are easy, but it's due. We're due for a new class very soon, and we're talking about the Blood Knight. I think the Blood Knight will be coming to us within the next few months. We've been data mining this, actually not me, data mine ARPG. I'll link him down below on his Twitter. He data mines a lot of stuff from Diablo Immortal, and everything has been on point. You know what else we recently got inside of the game that I forgot to mention? Fishing. As we make our way to the fishing hole, I'll button up the Blood Knight. It's a new class that's coming that I'm really excited for, and we have been seeing some advancement there. We've been seeing changes coming to the code, which shows that the Blood Knight is coming. Crossing our fingers it's coming soon. I would very much anticipate it coming within 2023, and I would love to see Blizzard do a yearly update with a new character class. One class per year, and I think we're solid. I think that's all we need. And honestly, it could probably come at an even less frequent basis than that, but once a year is a good cadence for new character classes for players that are getting stale or bored to try something new. But we're here at the fishing hole, and this just came in a recent update, and fishing is one of the first hands-off modes inside of Diablo Immortal. Now, no, I'm not talking about hands-off as in autoplay, but this is a very casual mode. It's an open world farming mode, essentially, where you go fishing off any bridge in Billafin, Ashwald Cemetery, or the Frozen Tundra, I believe, and you could pick up fish. Those fish have value and they give you rewards. You pay for bait with gold, and you basically could sit here at the bridge for 5 minutes, and when you catch a fish, then you could actively grab to the controller or grab your iPad and start reeling in that fish. It doesn't 100% autoplay work, but it does have a more of a hands-off feel. Why is this so amazing? Because it's a casual mode in Diablo Immortal. They're bringing something that's just casual, just fun, and not focused on grind, and I absolutely love that. Now, if you're worried about saying, oh, someone could just sit there and fish all day and just farm up their character, no. It's about 1/10 of the reward that you would get from actually open world farming for 5 minutes inside of the game. So it is not at all worth your time, and it's not like you could just put it on and leave it. You do still need to actively cast out and reel in your fish and buy new bait when it's time. So not completely hands off, but this opens up the whole idea of more casual elements to the game. More modes that are kind of like this, that are just fun, casual, and bring in the whole community. So I'm really looking forward to more of these types of events. And in the patch notes, Blizzard did mention that they were having ideas for more stuff. Basically, they said this was one of the first of many, or one of the first ideas, or something like that. It made me believe we're going to see more things like this. What you've been seeing on the screen a lot throughout this video is the defense of the castle, and that was also added to the game. We had the warbands being changed and improved throughout the game. There's been a lot of positive change, but I think PvP, cross-class cosmetics, and maybe reworking the Immortal and the Shadow element of the game in some way, I think these are all going to be positive changes. One last thing before we go that I would really like to see inside of the game. Quicker modes. Now, this does tie in with PvP, but if you think of games like Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Brawl Stars, yes, all Supercell games, which are some of the most popular and some of the most successful mobile games of all time. If we could have quick 3 to 4 minute modes, probably a PvP battle style mode, those can really do well inside of Diablo Immortal and cater to the mobile gaming community. Gamers that don't want to grind, but that instead want to jump into a quick fix and just get a little bit of a game that they absolutely love. I think these are the keys, and so far Blizzard has been doing a nice job in working towards what I believe to be a really successful mobile game. They're taking steps every single update, and I look forward to see what happens in 2023. Crossing our fingers that all of the things that I want to see come this year, and Diablo Immortal ends the year being one of the best mobile games. Not just mobile action RPGs, but best mobile games of all time. Let me know down below what you want to see, what changes you would like to have come inside of Diablo Immortal so that I could feature them in an upcoming video.